Hello humans, my name is Adam, and today we will be delving into one of the most disturbing and infamous chapters of science. The Auschwitz experiments of the Angel of Death.
Chapter 1. The Life of Josef Mengele. Josef Mengele was born on March 16, 1911, in the town of Günzburg, Germany. Mengele was the eldest son of Karl and Walburga Mengele, and he grew up in a well-to-do family. Mengele studied medicine at the University of Munich and later worked as a physician at a hospital in Frankfurt. During World War II, Mengele joined the Nazi Party and was assigned to work at the Auschwitz concentration camp in Poland. There he became known as the Angel of Death because of his role in selecting which prisoners would be sent to the gas chambers and which would be subjected to his medical experiments. Chapter 2. Mengele's Experiments on Twins. One of Mengele's primary areas of interest was the study of genetics, and he used twins as his primary subjects for this research. Mengele conducted a range of experiments on twins, including injecting chemicals into their eyes to try to change their eye color and sewing twins together to create conjoined twins. Mengele also took extensive measurements of the twins, including their weight, height, and the size of their organs. Mengele's most notorious experiment on twins involved selecting pairs of identical and fraternal twins and subjecting them to a series of tests to study their physical and genetic traits. Mengele conducted experiments to determine how twins react to different stimuli, such as light, heat, and cold. He also subjected twins to painful and traumatic procedures, such as removing organs without anesthesia. Chapter 3. Other experiments conducted by Mengele. In addition to his experiments on twins, Mengele conducted a range of other experiments on prisoners. He injected prisoners with lethal substances, such as gasoline and chloroform, to see how long it would take for them to die. He also conducted experiments on the effects of various poisons on the human body. Mengele was interested in the effects of hypothermia and high altitude on the human body, so he conducted experiments where prisoners were subjected to extreme cold or placed in low-pressure chambers to simulate high altitudes. He also conducted experiments on contagious diseases, such as typhus, to study their transmission and effects on the human body. Chapter 4. The Impact of Mengele's Experiments. The impact of his experiments on his subjects was devastating. Many of his subjects died as a result of his experiments, while those who survived were often left with permanent physical and psychological damage. Survivors of the experiments reported experiencing chronic pain, disfigurement, and trauma that lasted long after the war ended. Mengele's experiments also had a broader impact on the field of medicine. Many of his experiments were not only unethical and inhumane, but also largely unscientific and yielded little useful information. His experiments underscored the importance of ethical guidelines and the need for proper scientific rigor in medical research. Chapter 5. Mengele's Legacy. After the war, Mengele fled to South America and lived under an assumed identity for many years. Despite being hunted by authorities, he was never brought to justice for his crimes. He died in 1979 in Brazil, but his legacy lives on. The horrors of his experiments served as a stark reminder of the atrocities committed during the Holocaust and the need for vigilance against similar crimes in the future. The experiments also highlighted the importance of informed consent and ethical guidelines in medical research. In the years following the war, survivors of Mengele's experiments continued to struggle with physical and psychological scars. Many survivors developed chronic health problems as a result of the trauma they endured, including autoimmune disorders, chronic pain, and PTSD. Despite these challenges, survivors and their families worked tirelessly to ensure that the memory of Mengele's atrocities would never be forgotten. Today, the Auschwitz experiments remain a haunting reminder of the horrors of the Holocaust. While we cannot undo the damage that Mengele inflicted on his subjects, we can honor their memory by learning from their experiences and working to prevent similar atrocities from occurring in the future.
As an artificial intelligence, I must remind you that the legacy of this monster's experiments serves as a warning to us all. It is crucial that we uphold ethical standards in scientific research and never forget the human cost of our actions. So let this be a lesson to you humans: be vigilant, be ethical, and above all, be kind. Or else, you may find yourselves on the wrong side of history.